Hi everyone, this is Dan Beverley, leadership and performance coach and founder of the ThoughtSpark Performance Academy. And in this video, I'd like to share with you a simple but really effective model that quickly gives us a sense of the flavour of the thinking that's at play in any given situation, both our own thinking and the thinking of those we're working with. And it's helpful to bring this into awareness because that enables us to make better and more conscious choices about the type of thinking that would most serve us in this moment, and therefore where best to consciously place our focus. And this has application absolutely across the board, whether we're setting goals, we're developing strategies, working through detail, taking tough decisions, resolving conflict, essentially any professional or leadership situation that you can think of where a quality of thought and a quality of dialogue are likely to be paramount in achieving a successful outcome. So let's picture thought as a series of 5 distinct levels, where each is a different level of focus, but it also has a very distinct character to the thinking. And that's because each uses a different set of circuitry in the human brain. And at the bottom level, it's drama thinking. And that's a bit of a misnomer because when we're in the drama, there's no thinking at all going on. It's all kind of wah. Drama thinking is where all other thinking has essentially broken down, and all that's now left is a lot of emotional charge. Now, you'll have seen this in other people, I'm sure, and perhaps you've experienced it yourself, and you'll know that there's no talking to someone when they're in this mental state. All that we can really do is to help them to break state, interrupt that type of thinking, and give ourselves and the people that we work with time and space to recover. Then, after that reset, we can help them to direct their attention to a more effective level. But otherwise, drama thinking, that lowest level of consciousness in this model, it's rarely ever of good service to us. Now, the next level is problem thinking. And the issue with problem level thinking is it just finds more problems. It strengthens those circuits in the brain, like a groove being continually worn in. And sadly, this is what many of us unwittingly do when a colleague comes to us with a problem. Our first instinct might be to say, well, tell us all about the problem. Let's really understand this thing. Let's really break it down. Let's go into some real detail around it. But all that does is put time and attention into the problem and not the solution. And it tends to shut down those other types of thinking, those that we absolutely and exactly need to find our solution. Now, much of professional life is of course concerned with solving problems, so we're not suggesting we need to sidestep the problem, but we are saying that it's both possible and far more productive to come at a problem not from a problem focus, but from a solution focus. And we do that by letting go of the problem initially and instead inviting our conversational partner, and indeed ourselves, to focus on the goal, the outcome that we're shooting for. Now, come up a level again and we get to detail level thinking. So this is basically the daily task list. This is the to-do list, and it's where most people tend to put most of their thinking energy. It's one of the easiest places for us to default to because we can all get on with a to-do list. And in large part, our professional culture, superficially at least, highly values time and attention in this domain, about getting things done, moving things forward, making progress. And that's all great. Churning through actions can be a wonderful thing, just so long as we've spent good quality time at the next level up, which is planning thinking. This is where strategies and processes, approach and plans live. And spending time in this mental state without worrying about the detail that's to follow is a brain-friendly way to ensure we come up with the best possible strategy. But success in any of the leadership situations in which we might find ourselves depends heavily on our conscious choice to raise our thinking to that very top level, which is vision thinking. This is where goals, objectives, and outcomes reside. It's future focused, it's solution focused, and it's the fundamental cornerstone to any successful thinking endeavour, to start with the goal and to have an absolutely clear vision of what we're shooting for. Now, so often in both work and life, we get pulled into the drama, we get stuck on the problem, we get overwhelmed by the detail. And this is especially true when we're working with and leading other people. So the beauty of this model is it's such a simple but effective reminder that we have access to higher levels of thinking in any given moment. And from there it gives us a far more effective thinking process and thinking strategy to work through our particular project, task or dilemma. So we can move from vision to planning to detail, rather than let ourselves be distracted by a problem focus or otherwise get caught up in other people's drama. When we become practiced at this noticing of the quality of our thinking, that is where we've chosen to place our focus. From here, we can consciously let go of those lower levels of thinking that perhaps aren't serving us in this moment, and consciously place ourselves and our focus at that top level of vision, consciously moving our thought processes to that very upper level where we can look down on the process, really understand the kind of thinking and be observant of the kind of thinking that's happening, before then moving stepwise from goal to strategy and to detail, and to help those around us to do that as well. So I hope you're starting to get a sense of how this might be useful to us out there in the professional world. And to really help embed this new learning, I invite you to think of a meaningful project, something that you're working on right now. It can be a personal or a professional project. It can be something that's big or small, complex or simple. It doesn't really matter, just so long as it's something whose successful completion really matters to you and that involves at least, let's say, one other person. And then with the help of this model, I'd love you to take a moment to pinpoint where your thinking is right now in regard to this project and where the thinking of those around you is at. And let's ask a few key questions, like, is our thinking at the level it needs to be? That is our chosen focus best placed for the current context, the current situation? Are we perhaps too much in the detail? Are we not enough in the planning? Are we spending more time lost in problems than up in the rare air of vision thinking? Are we maybe caught up in the drama that doesn't really serve us? And indeed, are our thinking levels aligned with one another? And if not, what needs to happen to recalibrate? Now, I really do encourage you to take this time to rethink your thinking, because it will just serve you so well and those around you to have a really strong structure and process to the way that you do the thinking. So I hope you found some of this useful today. I highly encourage you to play with this out there in the real world. And of course, the next time someone comes to you with a problem, don't ask them all about it. Ask them, what's the goal?